Good evening, guys. I'm going to give a couple minutes here and let people pop in. Originally, I was going to do this as a me only video tonight. I think I might have a guest. I'm still waiting to confirm. He said he would try to come on here in a little bit. But, anyways, I'm going to rely on you guys tonight with your comments. How's everybody's week going? It's like if there's only one person in here right now. What's up, Aaron Smith? How are you, buddy? Got one person here. I've never seen you, Amon Smith. Excuse me. I apologize. Here's my guest. Um, had a pretty good week so far. Hang on here, guys. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Turn your phone sideways, brother.
Oh, Roger.
How's it going with you, buddy?
Pretty good. Supposed to be picking up a load in the morning in Douglasville, Georgia, going to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I normally don't go up there, but
Me
the
neither,
load is.
man.
I really can't stand going up there. Oh, drop my phone. But the load paying $31.50 on 1153 as far as the miles. So, convinced me to go.
Yeah. Sometimes
the
we
load,
gotta.
the
Sometimes
load
we.
only weighs 9,000 pounds.
Sometimes we got to do what we. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. That's for sure.
Right. Especially when obviously I was in a situation where things could be a lot worse. I'm just, like I said before, just grateful to be still working. So I dare not complain anyway. So
How is it? How is it over there at Mercer?
actually it's great. I love Mercer as a company. If I have to have one drawback about Mercer, it's the way that they handle their repairs. That's probably my only drawback. It is a big one. I won't sit here and minimize that. Because yeah, it's as an owner operator, everything's on you. We all know responsibility, maintenance accounts, all that good stuff. But when in the event that you have either too many repetitive repairs and your maintenance account can't cover it, or you have a repair that's beyond your maintenance account, they really won't help you until you spend something first. Like even with what I just went through with the transmission issue, um, unless I came up with $1,000 on my own, they weren't willing to step in and foot the rest of the bill. And I've
Really?
never seen a company do that. Even when I was with Boyd or JB Hunt or Snyder, nobody ever did that.
Hmm.
So that's for me is like it's a really big drawback. It seems minor, but it is big.
Your background back there. You know what it reminds me of?
Was
Do
that?
you notice the brick wall and stuff? It reminds me of the Michael Jackson album "Off the Wall." Remember Michael Jackson "Off the Wall"?
Oh yeah, that's a good.
I want to rock with you
Right.
all night. I don't want to start
Def,
singing, but
definitely some good hits and some good music. They don't make it like that no more.
yeah,
Say what
Michael
you want
Jackson,
about the man personally, but he made some good music.
man, he was very, very talented. Very
Yep.
talented.
He's one of the
Um,
people that could do it all.
Let me get some of these comments, and then I'm gonna explain something on here. What's up, bourbon, bacon, bourbon, and blue collar bullshit? I like that. That's awesome. So Amon wants to know how F2F is. So I'm gonna make a video here in the next day. I was gonna try and do it this afternoon, but hopefully I'm gonna make a video tomorrow. I'm gonna kind of give my 2 month review of F2F. Um, I'm just going to kind of give you a brief cliff notes here real quick, but F2F is a great company. I have absolutely no beef with F2F at all. My problem is just ancillary stuff that comes along with running the spot market. It's just the delays of, the shippers, receivers, they don't give a shit about you. I sat at a shipper 7 hours on Friday, specifically says on the on the Raycon, No detention on this one because they know that it takes so long. The only reason that I took the load is because it got me home and it gave me a chance to do a 34 at the house and come back out, on Monday. Um, and that's just one drawback. Everything is live loads, live unloads, very little drop and hook like what I'm used to. With that being said, I don't know, because all you know just well as I do, Stephen. When you have drop and hooks, it's pretty much go go go. When you have live loads, live unloads, you're kind of up to the shipper and the receivers, because like me, for instance, I got stuck last week and I had to give up my load going to Florida. So I was trying to find something else and ran into this load, which held me up another 7 hours. I was already 10 hours behind to begin with, and that's why I had to give the load up that was going to get me home. Again, you're up to it's all up to the shippers and receivers, and they don't give a shit about you. And that's it in a nutshell. Honestly, you could go broke doing this because when you add all the time up, you basically lose a day or maybe even possibly 2 or even 3 days of running because of shippers and receivers. And, all your big companies like, F2F, Mercer, Landstar, all these companies that cater to the owner operators, it's kind of the same thing. And, even if you do reefer, I don't know if you've ever done reefer before or not, Stephen, but reefer is same exact way. And it's just, you rely on them to have a efficient process with getting you through, everything. I hope that answers your question, Amon. I don't really have a good answer, but I am going to go over in a special video because I haven't done anything about it. Army Kane said, did you get my referral from SFI? Just give me a call tomorrow, Army Kane. I put my number in there for you. We'll double check it and make sure. What's up, Nick the Bounty Hunter? There's 18 Wheels. What's up, fellas? You can come on here and text, but you can't come on the show. Okay. Bacon, bourbon, and blue collar. And that wasn't a dig at you, buddy. I get exactly what you're doing. He's driving tonight. He's kind of
I know. I talked to him.
Did you? He's in the same situation I am. We're backpedaling, trying to catch up. Honestly, that's one of the reasons, why I didn't do the live last night is because, I was at home and all of a sudden the place where I park my truck at, they don't want truck parking there anymore. So I had to drive 25 miles down the road to the truck stop, and I'm not just going to leave it anywhere. So I was dealt with that, left my laptop in the truck, and I just I had to make do. And I thought, well, hell, I'll just do a video, tonight. I don't know what kind of people we'll get in here tonight because Monday Night Football's on, but at least we'll get a shot. Weird how on my chat doesn't use my name, but it's Jim Dashbo. Jim Dashbo. Oh, I talked to you earlier, buddy. Bacon, bourbon, and blue collar bullshit. I love that name. Thanks for the chat today, bud. I enjoyed the chat. We'll talk again tomorrow, man. Got a lot of things to talk about. Alicio Rocha, what's up? And Army King, are you on the select side now? No, I'm not on the select side. I decided against that. And again, going back to how am I doing at F2F? I had the biggest week in trucking 2 weeks ago and got paid for it last week. I did $7,400 gross. Now, when you take that money and do $7,400 gross, you got to take 25% of it off the top immediately. So that brings you down to about $5,300. So that's what I took to the truck last week. Best week I've had in a long time. This week, I'm probably going to push close to 5. And again, it's all about, what the shippers and receivers and how they take you. And honestly, the load that I'm on right now is my first load for the week. It pays $400. That ain't shit, but that's getting me out of Florida. The next 2 loads, I'll make somewhere around $2,500. So what I'm doing is I'm backpedaling. So the next 2 loads are pretty much drop and hook with the regular shippers that we have. That'll put me to Wednesday. I'll still have Thursday and Friday to catch up another $2,500, and that'll put me somewhere around the $5,000 mark. But to answer your question, no, I'm not on the select side. I'm still I'm doing the dedicated / dispatch model. They call it the I don't even know what they call it. Select Connect. I'm on the Connect side. Is what it's called. 18 laughing at me. Bacon, bourbon, and blue collar. That's my merch tagline. If I ever do it for my cooking videos for my TikTok. So he's the interesting thing is when he called me earlier, his name, I'm going to read it out here to you. See here, Angry Beaver is the name of his Angry Beaver is the name of his trucking company. And I asked him, I said, that's with me being Fly Rabbit, Angry Beaver, that's kind of an interesting name. You know what where the name came from? What he told me?
What's that? Is it from the cartoon?
His wife, Angry Beaver. His wife, he was cracking me up. He said his wife didn't really care for it at first, but then after a little bit, she was okay with it. So
I guess she didn't have a choice but to be okay with it too.
Yeah. So 18 says, I'm done driving, but I'm busy changing a mud flap on the trailer. No problem, man. You just you keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing. Angry Beaver. Now he's laughing at it, but that's the truth. Angry Beaver. Isn't that right, Bacon and Bourbon? Angry Beaver.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't remember honestly what the reasoning was why Mercer was never on my short list. There was something about them that I don't remember what it was. Do they have dedicated Freddie by chance?
Yes, they do.
Do they? What do they have?
It's definitely on a situation where, like, you just can't come into it. But it's not like Landstar where it's like a secret society of people who are hiding loads from other people. With Mercer, it's more so if you prove yourself kind of thing. Like they have it, but they have to know that you're a runner. They have to know that if they put you on this lane, your truck isn't going to break down because they have like a lot of FedEx stuff, UPS. Military. They have a lot of military freight. So they need to know that, you're a good runner, your truck's in good shape. You're doing everything safety wise, that kind of thing. So if you prove yourself, it'll be available to you. They got concert runs. Of course they do a lot of FEMA stuff. I mean, who does it? But it's there. But it's something I wouldn't like. Even now, they have some FedEx loads that are even like on the board. About a week ago, I did a UPS run, and they do have runs that even though I'm a flatbed driver, I can drop my flatbed trailer and pick up a loaded dry van and run that. Like, cause UPS is gonna like load UPS or FedEx, they'll load their freight in a Mercer dry van and have like a whole drop and hook routine with that. I could just drop my trailer at the yard and and pick up the dry van trailer and run it.
Do they pay pretty well doing that though?
They do. I haven't been able to get on it myself because, like I said, I'm still fairly new. I only been here about a month and a half now. So, plus, I haven't even attempted to try, even if I could, because I have spoken to the agent that runs those loads. And he said he had a route from California to Texas, Texas to South Carolina, and then from South Carolina back to California. So he has a pretty big triangle he runs. And he had some New York freight. But with my truck being the way it is right now until I can get some new tires, I don't want to risk running that type of thing and messing the whole system up.
Yeah. Is it pretty easy to get on with him doing that stuff?
Yeah. It's pretty much a matter of, it's a phone call. Like, I have a list of the agents and what cities and states they operate out of and their phone numbers as well as their email addresses. So it's easy to just call them and say, you want in on it. And if there's no waiting list or depending on the freight and time and the volume, you can just jump right into it.
Gotcha. So Bacon Bourbon and Blue Collar says she's from Morgan. She didn't know what Oregon's what he meant to say. She didn't know what angry beaver meant down here in the South. 18 says, I'm sorry, Life of KO says, what's up, fellas?
What's up, KO?
What's up, buddy?
That's big money right there.
So 18 Will says, is your truck shaking while driving, Steve?
Man, he already know. I think he just trying to be funny. I told him about truck shaking. Cause we were talking about that, and I was telling him like how some of my tires are kind of like balding on the inside, and there's usually like an alignment issue. So I don't know if he was just trying to get at me with that one, but it doesn't shake. It just kind of you can feel it when you're driving, but my truck doesn't like shake as if my shocks went out or anything.
Well, I don't know if you watched Country and KO's live on Saturday, but I forget which subscriber was getting on 18. Just ask 18. How's your latest YouTube video going? Because he doesn't make any. What's up, Jonah Green?
He needs to get back to it.
Tell 18 to drop a video. See, even Life of KO said that. Kendall said that, man. What about the videos, man? Said Steven, are you planning on pulling military freight? KO wants to know.
Absolutely. There is actually a couple loads that once I deliver this New Hampshire load, I wouldn't be too far away from. They have freight that you pick up, basically go from like base to base. Some of it does, and some of it is not always just like usually it's just sometimes it's just supplies. Sometimes it could be like sometimes they don't want you to know what the freight is. So it may just be boxed up inside a locked crate. So they don't, it's maybe more on the classified side. And but yeah, they do have flatbed military freight as well as dry van freight. So he said he'll have a video.
Yeah, he said he's gonna have a video up tomorrow at 8. He told me that earlier. I knew that. That's why I said that more than anything.
But KO, yeah, man, they got plenty of military freight. I just want to wait till I get my tires fixed before I jump on anything. But once I get my tires and my alignment done, oh yeah, I'm most definitely jumping on the military freight. It pays well. Some of it I seen pays about $3.12 a mile. And I definitely want a piece of that.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Might look like you might be recruiting KO to Mercer there if he wants to get into that military stuff.
I mean, I remember at one point, Mercer may have been on his list of companies, but just like any other driver, he made the decision that was best for him, and he does pretty well where he's at, but I imagine, at some point he's probably wants to move on to heavier freight. Like, I know we had a talk where he said he wanted to do heavy hauling at some point, and I'm not sure how much of that, Shelton would offer where he's at. So,
now, are you dispatched or you run off of a load board?
Both.
I got you.
I have my own, it's a what they call like their contractor web app. And I can dispatch myself easily and never have to talk to my dispatcher at all. Well, coordinator at all. But most of the time my coordinator, she knows my routine so well that I don't have to even book a load. I've maybe booked 2 loads on my own since I've been with Mercer because she's so on top of things. Once I kind of just take the shackles off her and let her go, she'll have me booked up for the next week or 2. Even though I'm picking up this load going to New Hampshire in the morning, she's already working on New Hampshire back down, and she's working on a connecting load from that. She's just waiting on word from the agents tomorrow. She'll have me booked till at least Monday.
Yeah, that's kind of my situation too. My dispatcher keeps me rolling for the most part too, and that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing.
So do you have a dispatcher, or do they have like an load board thing over there?
Both, both. I have a dispatcher, but the load boards. I mean, it's just all the common load boards. There's literally hundreds of load boards, and that's how we operate. You know what I mean? We can go on DAT boards. We can go on truck
Oh,
stop
okay, I
boards.
see what you're saying.
Like
So
F2F.
y'all don't have like it's not like a company
No,
F2F thing, but y'all can look everywhere and
we can look everywhere.
just get. So it's
F2F
like
isn't.
spot market stuff then.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly what it is. It's all spot market. What the thing is, and that's what we kid around with 18 all the time, is F2F isn't a trucking company, just like they say Landstar is not a trucking company. So it really isn't. And that's why there's really no hating on F2F, because anything you do on your own. You know what I mean? You're there. It's
Well,
not their fault.
KO worked for F2F for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
he was there pulling for a little while.
I'm surprised that he didn't stick with F2F. 18, you need to mind your own business. Get your tires and shocks fixed, or whatever it is the hell you're doing. Your mud flaps. Get your shit fixed. Um, Army Kane says they're supposedly working on an F2F load board. I haven't heard that one yet.
Well, it might be possible. I mean, if Super Ego got a load board, I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah, I don't know what the advantage would be to have an F2F load board. To be honest with you, because you're better off just working off the other load boards.
I mean, for me, like going to a company, a load board is a nice feature, but it's not a make or break for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a really good coordinator, dispatcher, manager, whatever people want to call them. Like I said, because my manager is she's so awesome, I don't have to look at the board at all. She already knows what I will and won't run, where I will and won't go, unless I tell her, hey, I'm wide open this weekend. And she's like, okay, I'll work. And by the time she called me back, she got at least 2, 3 loads cooking already. She already got a week planned.
So 18's trying to tell me it's direct customers. Duh. But that's not exactly what a company load board is. Not
Because
that
that it'll be like you said, like direct, like customer freight,
contract
and
freight.
then you have the spot stuff too on there.
Yeah.
Because that's how Mercer is. Mercer has their like their customer, like their direct customer freight or contract freight, however people want to call it. Like if you look on their load app, those loads are highlighted in blue, so you know that those are like direct customers. And then like load board stuff like the DAT or truck stop, wherever people get their outside loads from, those are just in white, but their customer freight is in blue.
I think it just goes to show what you were talking about earlier. 18, since he's at Landstar, that's the secret society. All you got to do is look for the pyramid with the eyeball in the middle of it, and he's basically a mason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Landstar is. Don't get me wrong, Landstar is a great company. Had Landstar's hiring process not
Yeah.
taken ages, I would have went back to Landstar because, like I said, I was there for a year. I absolutely loved my time there. I only left because I had started my own authority. But um, Landstar is a great company, but there are drivers there, and if you don't know the right agent, you don't know who to talk to. There's a world of loads you will never know about because nobody's going to give up their honeypot.
Right.
They
And that
and
makes sense.
it's not the agents so much that are the problem. It's the drivers because normally we try to go to another driver because we'll believe what a driver will say over what an agent will say because we know that driver is on the ground running like we are. But no, they'll tell you, man, it ain't nothing to her. It ain't no freight. Oh, freight slow, freight slow. Meanwhile, they running $3, $4 a mile on some UPS stuff or some FedEx stuff, and they'll never tell you about it. One thing, one underground thing about Landstar, and 18 probably knows about it if he hadn't heard about it. They have a Walmart run that can set you up. you never have to do anything else but that Walmart run if you know the right people to talk to. And there's a dedicated run out of Iowa that if you know the right people to talk to, there's nothing else you have to do all year long. You don't even have to look at the load board no more. You can just delete it off your phone and don't need it anymore at that point.
What customer is it in Iowa?
It's a flatbed customer, so maybe he wouldn't know about that one. I can't pronounce it. It's a city, starts with a K. It's like Keokuk, Iowa or something. All I remember is you need a whole bunch of straps, but it's a dedicated account. That load pays to the truck approximately about $5,000 to $6,000 a week.
Wow.
And if you run that, you never really have to do anything else.
Yeah, you flatbed guys, you're a different breed too, man. Whew. I wouldn't want to do that anymore. Not in my age.
It's not something I plan to do forever. I may start at some point dip my toes into doing tanker or something kind of specialized at some point in life.
I'd like to do car hauling is what I'd like to do. And when I say car hauling, I'm talking about specialty cars with enclosed trailers and stuff. You know, like Ferraris and Porsches and, you know, fancy cars and stuff.
Yeah, I would love to do it at some point. Because I don't know how much in the heavy hauling I would really want to go. Like I said, that was a conversation me and KO had once, and I don't know if I want to be doing like whole aircraft carriers and mobile homes and stuff.
Right.
But just definitely to get some more experience with like my chaining, and stuff like that.
So Army King says it would give the select side access to the contract rate. Okay. I see. Yeah, there ain't a whole lot of comments tonight. We only have 17 people. And I was kind of concerned, really, honestly, about going live tonight because of Monday Night Football.
I mean, on top of Monday Night Football, in about an hour, wrestling will be on.
Yeah.
So there's Monday Night Raw as well.
Yeah.
Let me step away for a quick second. I need to call my wife because
go right ahead.
I'll be right back here. Right back on.
Okay. So 18 definitely want to do the weird side of trucking. So that's what you're saying. You definitely want to do the weird side of trucking. Well, guys, if anybody has any comments, put them up here. Let's see. Tell me how your all's weeks were. Everybody do good this week? And what's your big bonuses and your mishaps this week? Give me all the good stuff. If anybody has anything. Kale, if you're on here still, how was your week? I know yours is kind of top secret because you put your videos out a week ahead. Watched your all's live last night, this afternoon. It was pretty good. OTR Vic, how's Poppy doing? Poppy is doing great. This whole switch over to F2F for both of us honestly has been a real struggle. Not so much for me as it has been for him because he's picking his own freight. I'm a little bit more fortunate with what I'm doing because I have a dispatch and do dedicated stuff. It's definitely different. I'll tell you that. I don't know what kind of stuff you do, OTR Vic, but this spot market stuff, in my opinion, really hasn't gone up enough to really put up with the stupid shit that you have to with the shippers and the receivers. I've had my share of stuff in the last couple of weeks with these shippers and receivers. You know, first couple of weeks I was all right with it, and now I mean it's kind of going down. And to be honest with you guys, that's one of the reasons why I haven't put out any pre-recorded videos lately. And not only have I been busy, but I was really big into recruiting over at JB Hunt and brought a lot of guys on over. I think our final tally was 11 guys that we brought into JB Hunt. And then JB Hunt played their games and did the reduction of the rates, and then took our honey hole with what we were doing with the Frito-Lay stuff. All that stuff went away, and because of that, a lot of us have left. I don't even know what the final tally is, but I didn't want to recruit anybody over here, honestly, to F2F. And I still really, I don't want to. I've got 2 people. Actually, I've got 3 people that have come over here, but I didn't really recruit them. They kind of came on their own, and I've been real selective about who I tell. And it's not that I don't want to get the word out there. And like I said, F2F's not the issue, not the problem. It's just the spot market's the issue. The spot market rates, the spot market itself. I just don't think that it's back up to par to where it really needs to be yet. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't been recruiting here. I mean, I don't want to get somebody over here and, lose their truck. I mean, if I'm struggling and, Poppy's somewhat struggling, there's no sense in getting you guys over here to be a failure. And that's one of the reasons why I really haven't done anything yet. I'm not convinced on anything. Let's see here, read some of these. But to answer your question, Poppy's doing good. We're just going through some growing pains with this. Michael Pierre, why 18 have a channel but barely use it? Makes no sense. I agree. And he says, hush. Oh, hush. Michael Pierre's laughing about it. But, yeah, I just haven't really been doing a lot of recruiting or done any videos about it. So Bacon, Bourbon, and Blue Collar said, had to go through that winter storm and my driver's side wiper blew off. Had to get out, swap it on exit ramp till I can get 30 miles down the road and get a new one. That's a funny story because I had something similar to happen to me. It's been quite a few years ago now, too. I was working for Dart Transit, and I had a used Kenworth. Back then, it was an 18, and it was 4 years old, and I was leasing it, and my driver's side wiper came off. And I was driving in the snow, and I had to stop and get one too. And it's a pain in the ass. I know exactly what you're talking about. Army King says, Connect size was brutal for me. I'm making more on Select side, but it's still brutal. Yeah, now Select side, that's where you pick your own freight, right? If I'm right there. But yeah, I agree with you, man. It's tough. And honestly, I thought about switching to the Select side, but I look at the load boards all the time, and honestly, I ran for the last 2 weeks. I ran all load board loads and nothing dedicated, and honestly, I made better money going back to the dedicated, and that's one of the the load that I'm on now is just a load get me up to get me back into the dedicated. I'm going back in the dedicated for a couple more weeks at least till Christmas, and then I got to figure out, what I'm going to do, honestly. I mean, I'd love to stay here, but, it just really depends. I don't really have any good answers. Well, I know it's warm in Florida right now, but I don't think it's warm enough not to wear a T-shirt. This guy's running, has no shirt on and shorts.
Actually, it was.
Well, I mean, it was in the 80s today, but now it's dipped down into the, the high 50s and 60s, though.
Yeah, plus, because I had delivered to Ocala this morning. And it was about 72, 74 when I got there at about, 10 this morning. And
buddy, I went to Boynton Beach. It was 91 today.
Wow.
91 in Boynton Beach. Yeah.
Like right now I'm in Cordell, Georgia, and it's 63 degrees here now.
You must be at that Love's. That's one of my favorite places to stop at.
I'm at the Pilot.
Pilot? That
Love's, it's on the same
exit
exit though. It's just different sides.
The Love's you can make parking there. If you can't find a spot to park at, you can make a spot at that Love's. It's huge.
Oh yeah, I got here early enough, 2:00, so I had plenty of choices of parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did have a question. So me being the person that's uneducated on F2F, what's this Connect and Select stuff?
Yeah, I'm educating myself too. So Select is where you select your own loads off the load board. Connect is what I'm doing, where I'm on dedicated and I have a dispatcher that picks my loads for me.
Is
That's,
that is there a difference in pay with that, or it's just like the difference in freight you run?
well, obviously it's going to be different freight because I'm going to run more of I won't call it contract freight because they don't have contracts on these, but I'm going to run bigger dedicated fleets of freight. You know what I mean? With different bigger customers, like Campbell's. We talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago. Campbell's is one of the big ones that I work. Um, the difference in pay, mine is I get paid 75%, and on the other side it's 80%. So it's 5% difference. But the thing is with the select that where you pick your own freight, you're paying the trailer rental fee and you're also
Oh,
paying for the maintenance on that trailer too. Whereas all I pay is a trailer rental fee, and that's it because it's drop and hook,
right.
and that's how they pay for the maintenance on the trailers.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, so is F2F kind of like Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in on your
Oh,
comment.
you're good. You're fine. Go
Just had a
ahead.
quick question on. So is F2F kind of like cloud trucks?
I don't honestly, dude. I don't know anything about cloud trucks. I there's two companies that I never looked into: Cloud Trucks and Uber Freight. I didn't look into those two companies because what I've been hearing and what I've been told, it's very hard to get a hold of anybody to settle anything because they're all basically internet based. You know what I mean? And when you
Right.
can't get a hold of somebody when you're not getting paid, I have an issue with that. And I've heard several
True.
guys talk about that on Cloud Trucks, so I've never looked into them. But I can't answer that. I don't know anything about Cloud Trucks other than what I told you. Stuart Brown, did you use to haul the Frito Lay out of Perry, Georgia when it was with JB Hunt? Um, if
I
that's
did.
if that's Kathleen, Georgia, then yes, it's actually even though it's in Perry, it's actually considered Kathleen for some reason.
Like
Um,
they had a good account over there too. I think it was out of there was a was it Super Puff out of
yep.
Perry, Florida.
Uh huh.
That was a pretty good paying load. Usually it was a drop and hook also. Well, if you got there on the right day, it was a drop and hook. Sometimes they live load you.
They always live loaded me.
I got most of the time I got more drop and hooks than live loads, but I've been live loaded there before, and they will inspect that trailer.
So bacon, bourbon, and blue collar says 50 degrees here in Bakersfield, California.
Oh Lord.
So Army Kane says, yeah, Select pays 80%. What's up, country? How's it going, buddy? Good
Yo,
talking
what's
to
up,
you.
country?
So Army Kane said he's thinking of trying Pyre only. You know, that's one of the things that me and Poppy talked about doing, but we never did it. We never looked into it. We never followed up with it. I don't know if that's going to be any good or not.
He said, "Hey,
Army Kane,
country, get me on the show one week."
yeah. Army Kane, give me a call tomorrow. I'll update you and tell you what's going on with everything. So Newman Attack says Perry, Florida is still there. People have figured out when they post and they are booked in seconds.
Yep, it's
Yep.
always been like that.
It's always been that way.
Was it Perry, Florida? There's what, like you said, Kathleen, Georgia. What Spring Hill, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas. I had a whole list of
I
where
got a
all
list
those
here.
Frito Lay loads picked up from. I wrote them down.
Charlotte, North Carolina. You got up there in Maryland too, not
Yep.
Baltimore. Can't
I
think.
think it's a Jessup.
No, I'm thinking of
Not
something
Jessup.
else. I mean, shit, I've been there so many times. You got two in Tennessee, down south of Nashville. I mean, dude, they're everywhere. Memphis, Tennessee. You got
Yep.
at the Dallas and Fort
There's
Worth.
one in Pensacola too.
Yeah, Dallas and actually there's one in Fort Myers and Tampa. If you didn't know that, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
there is. Then there's a Frito Lay delivery in Nitro, West Virginia.
Okay,
I I did that load once, and that load paid almost what,
Aberdeen,
$4 a mile.
Aberdeen, Maryland. Newman Attack just told me.
Aberdeen. Okay. Yep.
So Army Kane, you can call me anytime you want to. I'll be driving after 7 a.m. I'll be driving all day. Stuart says, did you used to haul Frito Lay out of Perry, Georgia when you were at JB Hunt? I think that's the same question he just asked. But yes,
Yep.
yes, it did. Dang, Super Puff. I ain't never going there again. If it isn't a brand new trailer, they reject it.
Yep.
Got me twice. So
They are very strict on their trailer inspection.
yeah. I got to tell you, I enjoyed working at JB Hunt. I really did. It's just it sucks, how things happen. So Kathleen is a good one to sleep out front in a big field for the dog to run. Yeah, I slept there lots of times myself in Kathleen. That was my goal because Kathleen would be my load out of the house. Basically, I would deadhead from Melbourne to Kathleen, and it would take me 8 hours to get there. I'd sleep there overnight, and then usually I would run to Aberdeen from there. So if I ran to Aberdeen, I would run another 2 or 3 hours and get into South Carolina or even North Carolina and then shut down. But if I ran to Memphis or somewhere else, then I would sleep there. What's the other place in Arkansas that we used to go to all the time? You remember? Frito Lay. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Little Rock. It's
yeah, it's not Little Rock.
it's not just north of Memphis. What's the name of that town?
God, you're not talking about West Memphis. Is it Monticello?
No, I'm going to tell you here in just 1 second. If Poppy was on here, he would say it. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Uh-oh, you froze up, buddy. You froze up. So Newman Attack says, can't keep Frito loads anymore.
I don't know if you froze up or I did.
You did, buddy. Keep Florida loads. Planners keep pulling them off from me, so I stopped booking them. Yeah, Newman, that's exactly right. They're taking them off of you because two things are either giving them to the white Volvo Mafia, or they're giving them to the company drivers to get them home. So these guys, Jonesboro. Well, it's the truth, man. That's exactly what they do. White Volvo Mafia got to keep moving too,
I mean, but for pennies on the dollar, you working for free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Trust me, I'm hungry for some money right now, because I just finally today paid back everything I owed Mercer, and after that, all I had left over was $87. But hey, at least I finally made some money now.
Yeah.
I have to look at the bright side, because if I don't, I'll go crazy. So I'm glad that's behind me now, because they took in my entire last 3 loads, they took everything. So it trust me, if I don't want to ever be in a position to owe them anything again, because I really hate the way that they do repairs. That's the one drawback I have about Mercer. Other than that, company's been absolutely fabulous.
What do they do that's different about their repairs? What's so messed up about that?
Because like I said, let's say, I don't know, let's just say you run into the same issue I just had, where your transmission clutch breaks on you. You don't have it. Let's just say maybe you only had $200 in your maintenance account. You got no money personally to cover it. They'll say, hey, we'll cover that repair for you, but you got to come up with part of it on your own first. They will not cover your tow at all. They will never cover your tow. So I had to, even when I just had my repair, I had to come up with $900 for the tow, or $300 to, well, initially $350 just for them to diagnose it and tell me that I needed to be towed. Then $900 for the tow. Then when I got there, to find out that the bill was as high as it was, and Mercer was requiring that I paid $1,000 of it myself before they even committed to the rest of it. And I get why they do it. So it's not necessarily unjustified. It's because so many people have came to the company because they used to just give out money. They used to hand it out. Like, I even talked to a guy, he said Mercer paid for him to get a new camshaft or whatever on his truck. And he said that was a $20K repair. And they fronted the entire bill for that.
But it took him a long time to pay that off, didn't he?
That, and he was an old head. He had been there for a while, so Mercer knew he was good for it. So they didn't take it from him as aggressively as they did me, because I'm new. Because what happens is, they said a lot of people would come there and they knew their trucks was basically held together with duct tape, and they needed $20,000-$30,000 repairs. And what they would do is Mercer would front the entire bill up front. They would get their repair done and then leave and go to Landstar without paying them back. So, they left Mercer holding the bag. So, of course, because a few bad apples spoiled a whole bunch, they started requiring that you commit to some of it too up front before they do the rest. And that's why they also kind of take it back so aggressively. But that's why they do it. So I understand. It just sucks.
I think we might be turning this into the country and KO thing, the power hour tonight, man. Not a lot of comments going in. Copy your all's thing. Life on 18 Wheels says leave and go to Landstar.
Yeah, I might as well start on that application now. They might call me around March sometime.
Shit, what are you talking about? You might be there by Halloween next year.
Shit, that's about as fast as they move too.
They take forever. I would have went to Landstar originally, but they just take too damn long, man. And I've told 18 on that. He says it only took him 3 weeks. I think it was more like 5 or 6 weeks.
Now the process is shorter for rehires. Like when I was going to go there last year with my SFI truck, they had me ready to go within about 2 weeks. The only reason I ended up not going is because actually my SFI rep called and told me not to go. She said that the spark market was bad right now, and I don't think it's a good look for you to go.
What's up, Flying Patty? Evening, James, from a wet, messy Johnstown, New York. Good to have you on here, Patty. I know you're one of Country's subscribers. I appreciate you coming in and checking me and Steven out tonight.
Bless your heart in New York.
And 18's playing hooky tonight. He's got other things going on.
He like me, trying to make up for lost time.
So what time were you heading to tomorrow? You said you're in Cordelli, but where are you heading to from there?
To Douglasville to pick up a load of air conditioning units.
Uh-huh.
Load weighs about, I think, 9,700. So definitely not bad on the weight to be going on some mountains, but it could possibly be snow up there. I'm pretty sure it is. So that could be an issue. But yeah, that load is going to Seabrook, New Hampshire. Like I said, load pay is $31.50. So on 1153 miles. So definitely not bad paying. But just got to be careful up there. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to be going when I get to Charlotte. I'm picking up in Charlotte, and I'm going up to Pennsylvania. I already asked my fleet manager how the weather was because we got guys that go on up there on a regular basis because of the dedicated. He said there's not supposed to be any bad weather until Thursday, according to him.
Well, PennDOT famous for shutting that interstate down.
Yeah, but the good thing about where I'm going to, I go straight up 81 and just barely it's Mechanicsburg is where I'm going to. And it's just barely into Pennsylvania and then back down. So it'll be in and out. So 18 says that's why he's in the comments. I got you, buddy. Rig Pig, digging this show. Thank you, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming in, Rig Pig. Love that name, Rig Pig.
That is awesome.
So just coming in, check out the replay. What was I going to say?
I was going to ask something, but I think I'll answer my own question in my head, though. But so, like, with F2F, though, like, if someone did want to go there, like, how does that hiring process work?
Oh, man, you know what? Their hiring process is the shit, man. I was still working for JB Hunt and put the application in, went and got the drug test on my home time. Did the orientation. The orientation is basically 4 hours on a laptop computer, wherever you're at. I did my orientation on my home time. Had everything done. They had everything approved within like 3 days, dude. It was awesome. It was an easy transition. I didn't miss a paycheck the way JB Hunt paid and the way they paid here. I didn't miss a paycheck. I didn't miss a beat. So they got a great, and that's and I knew that. That's one of the reasons why I came to F2F to give them a try. Because I knew it was going to be an easy turnaround.
It was the same for me at Mercer. When everything happened with me at Boyd, that Monday morning, I left Boyd, went to a truck stop right there in Birmingham, and did the application for Mercer. They called me back within about an hour, hour and a half. Started sending them a documents, picture of my truck and all of that, lease agreement, all that. By Tuesday afternoon, they had me hired. Had it got done faster, I could have started orientation that very Wednesday. But because I, wanted to take care of some personal stuff, I told them just set me for orientation next Monday. But they had me done from Monday about noon to Tuesday afternoon. I was set up and ready to go.
Really?
So their process was pretty quick too.
I heard when they do your truck inspection, I heard they find shit wrong with everybody's trucks. What's all that about?
It is absolutely everything you heard. Sorry, I'm chewing something. But
okay.
The reason they go so hard on that is because they say that if they find it, DOT would find it. And two of the guys that do their inspections used to do DOT inspections. Like at truck stop, they weren't like officers or anything. So they know what to look for and they're going to find it. But they'll rather find it than you get out there and DOT finds it. So that's why they do it harder.
What they find wrong with your truck?
Surprisingly, not much. They said my fire extinguisher wasn't it wasn't fully charged. Somehow, I guess getting in and out of the truck, maybe I must have pressed it by mistake. So it must have discharged a little bit. So I had to get a new fire extinguisher. Luckily, I had already had one. One came with this truck when I bought it. So I just went in my little baggage claim thing and they told me to just make sure it's properly mounted. Mounted that. They said the bushing on my shock was bad. So I had to replace a shock. And what else was it? They said like my center valve, like right under my fifth wheel, said it was leaking air. But even then, all those repairs only came out to $213. Because I mean, and their shop hourly rate is only $100 an hour. That's pretty low.
So they're gonna make you fix all that shit at their shop, is what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and I would because it's cheaper. Unless you know how to fix it yourself, you are welcome to fix it yourself. Like I mounted my own fire extinguisher, and I think the only other thing they said I had was like some of my hoses were rubbing together, so I had to buy one of the little plastic hose separators and separate my hoses. But yeah, if you can fix it yourself, they don't care. As long as if you can fix it yourself, they don't really care. But I mean, with a shop rate of $100 an hour, I mean, I'd rather just let them do it because that's cheaper than Love's. It's dang sure cheaper than a dealership. But they will not let you leave. They will not dispatch you. They will not give you a fuel card nor a permit book until you pass that inspection. So when they give you a list of everything that's wrong, you must fix it before you are allowed to leave there with their numbers on your truck. You can leave and go get the stuff fixed and come back, but you cannot run freight for them until you get those issues fixed.
So 18 says it sounds like some petty bullshit if you ask him.
Well, didn't nobody ask him, but no, I'm just playing.
Sounds like some petty bullshit.
It is, but I understand. Once again, I understand why they do it. Like a lot of stuff is like you don't have to like it, but you understand why it's done. Like a lot of drivers don't like front-facing cameras, but some drivers understand why it's there. So yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm glad they did that because they found some stuff that I can't see with the naked eye. I'm not mechanically inclined. I can't look at a pair of brake shoes and be like, oh man, that's jacked up. I can't open my hood and be like, ooh, that bolt's loose. That slack adjuster's out of a line. I don't know nothing like that. I just know to check for it during a pre-trip, and if it feel weird, make a note of it.
You know what cracks me up is I'm at a pretty decent sized truck stop here, right on the Florida Georgia border here on I-95, it's a good sized truck stop. I mean, they could probably get, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe not a couple hundred, but at least 150 trucks in here. And what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock at night. You'd think that they would be packed. They got a decent amount of trucks in here, but there's at least 30, 40 spots that are still open. I can see them. They're a little bit further. But what cracks me up is the white Volvo Mafia division, and that's what I'm going to say. They park on the sides of the fire lane,
Yep.
or the yellow, on the curb. Then they'll park in front of you, block you in. You got to wake them up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Hey guy, move! I got to get going. My clock started, or whatever. It just drives me nuts. If you can't back into a spot, or you can't, even if you can't back in a spot, I've got a couple guys here, late at night. Sometimes the guys don't even back in; they just pull into the spot, and in the morning they'll back out. If that's what you do, that's fine. But do that and at least have some respect for some of these other drivers, then don't come in here. You know what I mean? Park on the side of the road. Park on the freeway ramp, whatever.
And you're right. And they also, like said, they'll see those plenty of parking spots open. Like I said, they'll park in the no parking zone, the fire lane, and all that. And they do that to be kind of lazy so that they're closer to the truck stop. But then they'll never get out of their truck to go in there. So it's like, why did you park there?
This is the thing. I'm a good 200 yards from the truck stop building, and they're doing it out here even. They're not close to the truck stop at all. They're just doing it because they're lazy and they don't want to back up into a spot.
Right. And even if your backup skills are not up to par, just ask someone to spot you.
What?
I've had guys that, like, if they saw that my truck lights were still on, they'd knock on my door and be like, can you spot me? And I don't mind doing that at all. I would rather spot you than you hit me or hit someone next to me. And some owner-operators don't play about their trucks. They're ready to jump out and start shooting and swinging. Even though they were probably sitting right there in the driver's seat with their shirt off watching you hit their truck.
Yeah, Country, not really sure how long we're going to go tonight, buddy. We're right at an hour right now. Just kind of playing it by ear. Go get you some food, though, man. I know you've been driving all day, too.
Country, get me on your show, or I will stalk you.
Newman Attack says they park in places because they don't care about being hit by people like them. That is correct. They don't give a shit. You can actually look at their trucks and tell that they don't give a crap because their fairings are dents in the doors.
All the crap on their dashboard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The dingleberries hanging from the ceiling. You know what I'm talking about, right? Let me tell you something. I saw, and he really did have a white Volvo. I saw a white Volvo the other day, white Volvo Mafia. This guy, you can just, and I'm not talking bad about anybody. I'm not trying to, bring any negative shit up. But this guy had a maroon, like crushed red velvet, like maroon. Like just imagine red crushed velvet with gold trims on the edges and little dingleberries hanging from the roof and on the side. I don't know what it is lately, but guys are putting shit on their side windows to keep the sun out. Have you noticed that? There's a lot of guys that are putting, plastic window tint type stuff and stuff to keep the sun out, or they're keeping their curtains out. Or
I've seen it with the curtains. I've seen that.
Well, they make all kinds of stuff. Well, anyway, he had these red crushed velvet with the gold dingleberry curtains that went around, and it had Volvo in gold letters embroidered. The Volvo emblem. It was actually embroidered into the red crushed velvet. It was just imagine like an old school movie theater curtain, that red crushed velvet.
Yeah.
With gold stitching, basically. Man,
that's commitment.
So Country says, if KO and I decide to have guests, we'll have you on, buddy.
Oh, well, excuse me then.
No, here's the thing.
No, I'm messing.
Here's the thing. When I started doing lives, Country just came on just to kind of hang out, and then it kind of became a permanent thing for I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it was, and then he told me when he decided he didn't want to do the show anymore that him and KO had been planning on doing that for a long time. It just never got to the point. They just don't know which way they're going to go with their show yet. They're still trying to decide on how they're going to do it. So 18 Wheels says, you say dingleberry funny. Well, that's what it is. They're dingleberries. I don't know how else do you say dingleberry?
It only comes out funny.
Man, that's right. Just make sure you wipe it the right way to get the dingleberries out. Bacon. Bacon, bourbon, and blue collar. What I haven't figured out is why do they hang loofahs on the mirrors and the DOT bar? I know why the villages do it, but laughing my ass off, why do the Volvo Mafia doing it? That's funny, man. He knows why the villages are doing it. Hanging the loofahs.
It may be a religious thing. I have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah, dingleberry, 18 Wheels. You've done some funny shit in the last 2 weeks too, brother, that I find comical.
What has he been doing?
I'm not going to go into it.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to embarrass the shit out of him, and I don't want to do that. Bacon and bourbon, I got to tell you, man, that was fucking funny, man. Loofahs on the mirrors and the DOT bar. But that is so damn true, though, man. So damn true.
Another thing I've seen is I don't know if it's a cultural thing, too, but I guess it's outside of them driving the truck, other than driving with sandals on, is the, washing, you ever notice sometimes they'll open their door and they're just sitting there, pouring water over their head, or they're washing their feet. So I think that may be a religious thing.
Washing their feet in the sink at the truck stops. I've had that happen.
But I think it's a cultural or religious thing that's why they do that.
Jonah,
I'm not entirely sure.
Jonah, that would be funny. He says he's going to go out and buy a white Volvo to go around and just mess with me. Yeah, I'll make fun of you just like I do everybody else on here about that. That's too.
That would be extremely petty.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it obviously wasn't anything in his videos. Huh. I wonder what that is. What's he
probably referring to no, he's referring to 18 saying that I guess he hadn't been making videos, so he didn't do nothing.
Ain't that the truth? It wasn't in his videos. That's funny, 18. If you're from Central Florida, you know about them loofahs.
Oh, yeah. I just actually heard about that. My manager actually just told me what that meant.
Maybe clue me in. What's it mean? I don't get it.
So basically, because I was over in the Villages, Florida, last week, and I was there at the Service Plaza, and I asked my manager, because I was on my 30-minute break, and she called me about a load, and I was telling her I saw a bunch of loofahs on a couple people's Jeeps, and she was like, "You don't know what that means?" I was like, "No." She was like, usually if someone hangs a loofah on their car or their golf cart or their Jeep antennas or anything, that means that they're into swinging. She said in Central Florida, there's a big swingers community.
Yeah, that's the Villages. That I see what he's talking about.
And she said, so the sign that you're into swinging is to hang a loofah on your car or your antenna.
It's the same thing with the pineapple too. You heard the one about the pineapple, right? Upside down.
I've heard that one too.
Yeah. So
that's what it is. It means you're into swinging.
So Flying Patty says you'll be all right up north. Raining here now, and then it's just cold after Thursday. Thanks for the update there. I'm hoping that I don't run into anything. Newman Attack says the dingleberries are sheiks, usually Punjabi Indians. Bacon, bourbon, and blue collars is true. OTR Vic. I have a buddy that's rocking a white SFI Volvo at JB Hunt, and he's liking it so far. You know, I got to tell you, the SFI trucks, there's absolutely, out of my whole experience, and I know you had a SFI truck, I know 18 did, I know KO did, me and Country still have ours. You really, just to get into the business, whether you keep it or whether you use it just to get you to the next level, it's really, there's no right or wrong reason, but it's a great tool to get you in the position that you need to get in to these companies and work it. Is it expensive? Absolutely, it's expensive. But
Mhm.
the peace of mind that you have with the warranty and just the having a new truck. I mean, again, there's no. That's the $1,000,000 question that everybody always asks. Which way should I go? Buddy? I still haven't made the decision up which way to go. Um, do I like my SFI truck? Am I comfortable with it? Absolutely. Is the payment high? Absolutely, the payment's high. Can I do better? I don't know. I don't know if getting a used truck is the answer for me or not. But for Steve, KO, and 18, it's worked out well for them.
Yeah, for me it was a
But
stepping stone.
yeah, and that's what your plan was from the beginning, though. And I think KO said that too. That was his
Yeah,
plan.
it was his plan. Too. It was to help me get into a position where I could buy a truck, but instead of taking that route, I caught the flatbed bug and decided to give the truck up to do flatbed because for me that truck wasn't optimized for flatbed. I had no headache rack. I had none of the supply. I didn't. Plus, typically you do flatbed out of a mid-roof truck just for aerodynamics. It helps with fuel costs and all that. And plus the wheelbase makes a difference. And that truck just wasn't built for that. Other than that, it was a great truck. Never really gave me any issues. And if it did, I had the money in my account to fix it. Um, so the truck itself was great. Would I do it again though? It's a little expensive, but I think once you get past the initial expense of it, I think it's worth it. If you have the right run, the right lane, the right kind of drive, and you have, low expenses at home, I think the truck is worth it.
Did you ever buy tires when you had your SFI truck?
Um, I don't think I did.
Well, let me tell you what happened to me. About 3 weeks ago, I blew a steer tire. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I did blow a steer tire. And anybody that's done that, it's best just to go ahead and replace both front ones. So with SFI and Schneider's discount, the tires were only $600 a piece, so they were cheap. I think they were full price. They were like $800 or $900, but I don't. With SFI's price, we only paid $600. So
Yeah.
$1,200 for the tires. How much do you think that bill came to? And again, I blew it out on the road, and I had to have a service call done on a weekend too. How much do you think that cost
Ouch.
me?
For two steer tires?
Two steer tires. Well, you already know the tires are $1,200. There's
Right.
603 a piece is what they were. So how much do you think I
Uh,
paid for the service charge?
Maybe 2K?
It's exactly what it was. It was like 1997 is what the charge was. To me, that's fucking crazy. I paid them $800 to change two fucking tires.
That is ridiculous.
I mean, that's as much as one tire is.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That's a bit
I was
much.
I wasn't happy about that at all. I had my SFI rep email me the receipt because I keep receipts of everything, and with him being a service guy coming out, and it wasn't Loves or one of those guys. I forget who it was, but they brought me out two Goodyear tires, and I'm not big about buying Goodyear tires, but they were the cheapest. But it drained my maintenance account, dude, completely drained it.
Oh, I know the feeling. I just got mine back up to about 250. So like I said,
So
I'm just now out of the red.
18 says his video is posted. It'll be available at 8 a.m. tomorrow for all you guys. Cost you an arm and a leg and a thigh. Yeah,
Some of the
arm, a
price of a
leg,
steer tire.
arm or a leg, a thigh, and a middle leg too. Man, cost all that.
That's costing too much.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that, but it is what it is. I mean, it's you got to pay for it. There's no way around it.
Yeah, that's
And it didn't make sense just to replace one tire because I've already, I got 110,000 miles on it. Actually, I got more than that. I got 100. I think I'm at 125,000 miles on this truck now, if I'm not mistaken. So it didn't make sense not just to get both steer tires. You know what I mean?
right.
Did not make sense. Newman Attack says, I used to believe in the free market. It doesn't exist. The industry needs regulated. I agree with you. I think some things are just absolutely crazy. Now, if it would have been $300 or $400, I could see that. But, 800 and some change, I just don't understand that. So Jonah said he had a blowout 2 weeks right before Thanksgiving, had to buy a rim and 2 tires. Yeah, that's about the time period it happened to me too, Jonah.
That's when my transmission went out right before Thanksgiving.
Speaking of which, Jonah, which company do you work for? I know you said the past, but I don't remember. For some reason, I think you're a Swift guy or was a Swift guy. Army Kane, don't forget the after hours SFI charge. Yeah, I know that had something to do with it too. Did SFI make you replace both, or it was definitely my choice. SFI don't make you do anything here. They give you a suggested service intervals of things to do. From there and beyond that, it's up to you to get them done if you want, Now, what's going to happen if you fail or you turn your truck in, they're going to charge you for those things if you hadn't had them done. Like certain intervals and maintenance and stuff. I'm very, very particular about all my maintenance. When I first got the truck, I was doing oil changes at 25,000 miles rather than 50. But now they got over 100. I'm going to do every 50,000. I wanted to make sure that, everything was good on the motor. That's why I did it. And not only that, I had the money in the maintenance account. But now, since I've been drained, I've decided, you know what, I'm just going to do the 50,000 mile. What's suggested? I don't think there's any reason to keep doing that. Jonas says he's with Swift. I thought so. I've seen you in Charlie and Jeff's chat before. Speaking of which, how is Swift going? I'm curious.
Yeah, I hear despite their rep, they actually are a pretty good company to work from and lease from.
Swift and Schneider, people can talk trash about those two companies all they want to. More Swift than Schneider. But Swift was the best company I ever worked for, dude. I mean, they really are great people. I don't agree with everything that they do, but it's a great company. 18 wheels, always smart to replace both at the same time. Oh, yeah. So I had all my shocks replaced at 100,000 miles, too. Like I said, I got 2 new tires. I know next thing I'm going to have to do is get some drives.
I definitely need some drives.
I've actually got an alignment set up tomorrow that I'm going to have to cancel because I'm not going to be in Jacksonville to get it done. I should have called him today, but I forgot all about it. So I'm going to have to get that done. I wonder if that was him that called me today. I had a number call me today that I didn't recognize. No, that ain't it. That was one of the brokers. That's another thing too about doing the spot market shit. You get these brokers calling you all hours of day and night. When I was sitting the other night for 7 hours, they called me every 2 hours. You loaded yet? You loaded yet? You loaded yet? I'm like, guys, if you want me to run this load and make it on time, I'm trying to get some sleep because what's happening is I'm here. I've been here since 10:30 this morning. This is 8 o'clock at night. If you want me to run this through the midnight hours, I've got to get some fucking sleep. Quit calling me. I'll let you know when I'm loaded. Jonas says it's going good, hit and miss on freight, depending on where you are or where you're at. But I'll be doing good. I've been doing good the last few months. Well, good deal, Jonah. Good deal. Swift's a company that I'll always recommend a brand new person to go to for both things, for lease and also just to get your license. You can't go wrong with Swift. Plus, you got Papa Swift in the background to help you out if a big expense comes up or something.
Yeah,
they're always going to help you.
That's good when you're at a company like that, especially if you're, like you said, you're leasing and a really big expense comes up. You have, like you said, kind of big brother watching out for you, and they can, take care of you until you can recover financially. You don't have to just foot the bill up front. Mercer don't do that so much. With Mercer, their thought process is that you're your own man. We're just here if you need us, kind of thing.
Right.
So they really won't they will help you, but they won't extend the help. You have to go and ask them for it.
Gotcha.
They'll just look back and be like, well, you're the boss. But if you can't figure it out, then give us a call. But
So Newman Attack says I was at Swift in the 2000s, have no complaints. Life on 18 wheels is being Mr. Mom again. Put your phone on silent, then it won't bother you when they're calling. I leave my phone on all the time because I've got other things going on in my life that I have to kind of listen up for, buddy. Country says he's back. He got sausage, pepper, and onion sub and a monster. Hear you, man. Rick
is he
Pig.
still driving? I hope he's not shut down and he's about to drink a Monster because he's going to be wired up.
Buddy, that guy. Monster does absolutely nothing to me. I know it doesn't for him either. They don't keep you awake. Not for me, anyways. Rig Pig, good to know that about Swift. Absolutely. Rig Pig, are you looking for a company to go to? Swift is awesome. Plus, their lease payments are cheap too, and you can get into a brand new truck for cheap. Now,
There was
granted,
a
it
time
takes a
where I
long
thought
time
about
to pay
giving
it
them a
off.
try at a point in my life, but I mean, if I ever went back to driving, maybe it'd be something to consider.
Right?
But then again, if I ever went back to driving, I'd probably do it right here at Mercer too.
Yeah.
So just depends because Mercer's drive-in division is drop and hook, but their flatbed is live load.
Hmm.
Because you're leasing the trailer when you're flatbed, but when you're driving, you're just paying a trailer rental fee.
How much is their trailer rental fee?
Um, well, I don't know how much
The
it is
drive-in.
for the driving. I think it's 600 a
Wow, that's
month.
crazy, man.
Yeah, but that also I think that, but they pay for the insurance and the maintenance and all of that on it.
Hmm.
But that's still it's a pretty big expense.
And
But they do
it's all drop and hook. You say?
uh for their um for their driving side, yes.
Why don't you why don't you drop out and come back in? Because for whatever reason you've frozen. Your screen has.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Man,
frozen completely.
huh. All right, I'll do that.
So Jonas says, I like the Swift truck payments. It's low, and then they will get you off the side of the road if you broke down. That is true. I've had that happen. Got my license through Swift Trucking Academy in Millington, Tennessee, then worked out of the Ocala office for a couple months back in 2012. So you've been with them too. Awesome. Newman Attack. My Swift truck had a 5-digit number. Now that's going back some time. That's going back some time there. That 600 is perfect. Is a perfect month, not a week. That 600 is perfect month, not a week. What's that supposed to mean? I wonder.
Um, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
600 per month. Okay. You talking about the truck payment? I bet.
What truck payment?
At Swift, their truck payments are cheap.
Oh yeah, 600 ain't bad. If it's especially if it's a
670.
newer truck.
Buddy, I had when I was there, my last one was a 2023 Kenworth T680, which was at the time the most expensive truck you could have there, and it was brand new. My payment was 690.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
But I imagine the lease was probably long.
4 years. What sucks about it, you had a 4-year lease, and then my buyout, because when I got it, the truck market was fucking crazy. My buyout was 91 grand. That's why I didn't have any problems leaving that truck behind, because it wouldn't have been worth 91 grand after 4 years.
God no. At 91
Life
grand,
on
you could have
18,
bought
loved
a
the
newer
people.
truck.
He said he loves the people at Ocala Terminal except for Gary. I don't know if I knew Gary. No, the trailer rental at Mercer for van. Oh, I got you. $600 per month for the rental.
Oh, yep. And
Oh,
like
he's saying $600 per month on the trailer rental, not per week, right?
it's per month.
$150 a week. I got you. That's not bad.
Yeah, and like for my trailer I have it's $700 a month. But I'm leasing to own it and I only have a 2-year lease on that trailer. There's no
Balloon
I
payment
think
at the end.
it's $1,000. That's it. And they could take that out of your maintenance account if you have it in there at the time.
Gotcha.
So Yeah, I have a 2-year lease. Most of their leases for their trailers are about 5 to 7 years, but because they're newer trailers. But I ended up getting a 2020 trailer, and it worked out for me where I had a 2-year lease.
18 says his payment was $451 a week at Swift. And Jonas says his payments, let me go back here. Jonas says his payment is $450 a week for a 22 Freightliner 3-year lease.
Those are some pretty good payment.
Yeah, their most expensive payment, like I said, is like $700. So Life on 18 Wheels wants to know, is it a 48-foot trailer or 53-foot flatbed?
They only have 48-foot trailers. But their trailers have dunnage racks. Their trailers have equipment boxes on both sides where you could put your tarps and extra equipment. And like I said, they have dunnage racks. They have storage for to put like your V boards or anything like that if you need it. And yeah, the trailers come in great condition actually. So I care less about having a 2020 or a 2024. I just wanted a truck with the cheapest payment. I mean, a trailer with the cheapest payment and the shortest lease, and that's what I ended up with.
So Newman says the place to be if you're a company driver at Swift is on a dedicated account. I haven't been there for a long time, but I still talk to people. Yeah, I agree with you. If you can get on one of the Walmart accounts, that's the place to be.
You know, Swift was in my radar at one point in life, and it just didn't work out. So was Prime at one point, but they won't actually hire out of Florida where I live at. So I could never work for them.
Well, we're at about an hour and a half. I think we're gonna cut it loose here in just a minute, man. I don't know about you, but I got to get up early and start driving. You driving early?
I'll definitely have to get up early. Remember, like I said, I've been up since 4 a.m. So
I think it'd be a good place to get. So Rig Pig, gotta cut out, guys. Thanks. Your panel and Chet. Good stuff, everyone. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate having you in. Army King saying good night. But yeah, I think this would be a good place to stop it for the night, man. I appreciate you coming in tonight, Steve, at the last minute.
Yeah, no problem. I wasn't gonna leave you hanging by yourself. Wasn't quite super sleepy, so I figured I'd come on in and waste somebody's time.
Yeah, you're a better replacement than 18 is. So I wanted to go to Prime when I first got my CDL. Thank God they didn't want me. I don't think Prime's a bad company.
They didn't want me either, 18. So we're on the same page.
If anybody wants to come to Swift, let Jonah know.
I don't think it's a move I'll make anytime soon, but it may be something I'll consider if Mercer doesn't work out for me or owner operator doesn't work out for me, I should say.
Yeah.
Then I may consider it.
Jonah, keep an eye on the lives, and if for some reason I get anybody, I'll send them your way. Country says night, fellas. OTR night, 18 night, bacon, bourbon, and blue collar. Good night. So we'll go ahead and cut it out, man. Again, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, bud. We'll be in contact.
No problem.
All right. You need me for anything, as always, give me a ring.
Yes, sir. Y'all guys have a good night.
Good night, guys. Have a good one.